Oh, the trials of YouTube. Wow. Lunchtime live stream, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Today, is it night? It's not nighttime yet. Today. I don't even know what time it is. And there we go right there. Okay, afternoon all. What's up, Steve? What's up, other Steve? And what's up, guys? What's up, Tom? There we go. Hey, yeah. It's noon. Yeah, I actually show 12:02 on the clock right now. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about APRS Thursday. Maybe. Okay. So I saw it. So I've been talking with, all right, let me just do it this way. I'm just going to do it this way here because I want to, yeah, right there. All right. So this is I ran across this a month ago, something like that. APRS Thursday. Somebody pinged it to me, I think, in Discord. And I went and joined this Facebook group right there. And I said, hey, this is a neat idea. What about you guys coming on to a live stream and talking about this APRS Thursday thing? Cause it was funny because if you saw my thumbnail for today's show, it says APRS Thursday making 1200 baud great again, which is a cool name. That's a cool name. My wife saw that last night and she's like, but you're streaming on Wednesday. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's the name of the net, APRS Thursday. It's not on Thursday. We're not going to do it on Thursday. But it's, yeah, that's just the name of it. I didn't name it. It's like WinLink Wednesday. You guys have heard of that, right? Okay. So APRS Thursday. So I reached out to these guys and I'm like, hey, this would be cool to get you guys on a stream. We can talk about, basically whatever you want to talk about. And Bill, let me know if you can join a Zoom call real quick. And Mike, KC8OWL, he put together a really nice PowerPoint presentation. He sent it to me yesterday. He's like, hey, here's what I've got. I went through it. It looks really good. It's very basic, but it's, I don't want a bunch of fancy flashing lights and whatnot. It's very good info. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, then he sends me a note, and I sent him the Zoom link. I was like, hey, here's the Zoom link. And he replied back to me, but it was like an hour later, and I missed it. And he's like, oh, so 4:45 p.m., right? I'm like, and I just saw that like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, no, I never stream at 4:45. He said 4:45 PST, Pacific, which would be 2:45 my time, meaning start time of 3 o'clock. And I don't ever stream at 3 o'clock on Sundays or Wednesdays, so I'm not sure where he got that time from. It's possible I mixed something up or told him something wrong. I should have confirmed with him. It's probably my fault. Not a big deal. So we will get Mike on the show, I promise you. But I sent him a message on Facebook Messenger, which is where I've been communicating with him for the last couple weeks, and the message I sent him he hadn't read yet. So I assume he's probably at work. Most people are at work right now. So yeah, but he sent me that presentation. It looks really nice. He's got a really good explanation of what this is and how it works and how they do it. And I definitely want to get him back on the show, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. So, Bill, send me a Facebook Messenger message because I've got that up right now, and that's where I've got your content. Unless you're in my Discord, which I don't think you are, send me a Facebook Messenger message anyway. So, a couple of quick announcements because I was going to do this anyway. We are still running the March giveaway, which is going to include about 11 different items. I need to update this. So I've got 3 different Zoom spots donated by KI6ZUM Jim. So special thanks to him for donating those. I've got 2 KM4ACK antennas donated by Jason. I've got 1 of the new TNC4s from MobiLinked that I purchased. I purchased 2, keeping 1 for myself, and I'm giving 1 away. And then I've got 2 one-year subscriptions to Ham Radio Deluxe that were donated by Ham Radio Deluxe. and we're going to be giving those away. Plus, I've got 3 items from the Coffee and Ham Radio store: an antenna, a tumbler, and something else. I can't remember what else it is. But yeah, so all those, that's 6, 7, 8. That plus 3 is 11. 11 items, 11 winners to be given away on Sunday, March 26th. So a week from this coming Sunday, about a week and a half from now. So we're going to be giving that away. I pinned the sign up to the top of the chat. So go look at the top of the chat, to the pinned link at the top of the chat, and that is where that sign up is. Okay. All right. Bill. All right. So Bill Blanton's going to join us, and he's going to be able to talk about some of the stuff we were going to talk about today. And then we will kind of go from there. Not that one. This one here. So, okay. Special shout out to all the folks in green text in the chat. Fred, I see you in there. W0RHP, KD8GIJ, see you guys in there. Earlier, W8WNA Joe was in there. AA0AM was in there. 503 Nick, saw you in there as well. Thanks for joining the chat, and thanks for being a YouTube channel supporter through the support membership, which you can click on beneath the stream, any of the live streams. You can click on the join button down there, and you can say, I'm doing 3 things at once here. So let's see if we can make some noise over in this direction. I think you are. Hold on. You're on the wrong speaker. That's something on my side. And you don't have any video. You don't have video. Okay. Okay. Then let me turn that off. Okay. I gotta pipe it in this way so that people can hear you. But okay, man, what's going on? How are you?
I know it's William. My call sign's KO4DVP, and I am one of the admins of the APRS Thursday Facebook group.
Cool. Okay. Good. Yeah. So I don't know if I told Mike the wrong time, or if he just assumed the wrong time. I'm not sure where he got 3 o'clock from, but mistakes happen. It's fine. And he put together. I don't know if he shared it with you or not. He put together a really cool PowerPoint presentation that we're going to talk about today. So.
Yeah, he did. I've got it open here. I haven't actually looked at it because I just got it last night. So. But
yeah, he sent it to me last night as well. Yeah. But okay.
All right, I got it open now.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Facebook group here.
Okay.
So that we can just kind of see if you're not going to share video, that's fine. Just put this right there. All right, good. Cool. So this is the Facebook group where you can go check out everything, and I linked that below, and I'll do that again. All right, so just give us a brief, if you don't mind, Bill, just give us do you go by Bill or William?
William.
Okay, William. Okay, I just assumed Bill, sorry. But, yeah, just give us a brief overview of what this is. And I think it's fairly new. It hadn't been going on very long, right?
Yeah, it's been going on for a few months now.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just a weekly net. It's hosted, the announcement server is called ANS RVR. I believe it's hosted out of Florida. They provide the back end for us, and basically it's just a week. It starts at 00 UTC on Wednesday and goes to 23:59, till Thursday morning.
Right.
Like I said, UTC time, and it's just a way to test to make sure that your radio is working, your APRS setup is working. We've had people check in from aircraft. We've had people check in from HF using JS8 call.
Nice.
And it's a way to make QSOs. The way the system works is you subscribe and send your message, and then that gets sent out to everyone else that subscribes. And you can go direct to them when you see their messages. And I've had...
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I've had several QSOs over APRS just with random people, and it's really interesting.
That's cool. How does one subscribe then?
You just send an APR message to the call sign ANS RVR, and then you add, there's a syntax you have to add. It's in the message. It's CQHOTG. I think it's just CQHOTG, and then your message. And we usually, most everyone puts happy hashtag APRS Thursday.
Happy APRS Thursday. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what is HOTG? What does that?
I don't know exactly what it stands for, but it's
Okay.
the kind of, I guess it's the group inside of the announcement server.
Ah, okay, all right. So that's like a keyword to key the announcement server and let them know where to place you, I guess.
Right.
Okay, all right.
And
cool.
apparently, that Michael just let us know. Sorry about the dogs in the background.
That's all right. That's all right.
We have there are voice channels on Brandmeister and TGIF for people who want to talk, But
okay.
okay. I don't know if he put that in the PDF or not. I believe he did. Let's see.
The DMR talk group numbers for those two networks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And also, one of the things I'll touch on is some people, it does flood your APRS SSID with a lot of messages.
Yeah.
And what you can do is there is an unsubscribe. So you would send the CQHOTG in your message, and if you didn't want to get everyone else's messages, you would just send HOTG, and it will unsubscribe you so that you're not getting flooded with messages.
The letter U?
Yeah.
So U space HOTD or just U HOTD, no spaces?
With a space.
With a space. Okay. So U space HOTG, and then it'll stop, and then you'll have to resubscribe again next week if you want to participate again.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Once it's, I think it's the 24 hours, and then your subscription drops off.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's a way to kind of squelch it once you. Once you start getting the floodgate of it. I imagine that would get old after a while, but APRS messages. I've gotten APRS messages in the past, but it's not like you get them all the time, so it's kind of rare.
Right.
So it for a while that might be kind of fun. So that's
like
good.
I said, it's been really interesting. And one thing you can do is if you have a mobile device and use like APRS Droid,
yeah,
as soon as you stop tracking on there, it'll stop the messages. And so that's what I mostly do, because I don't have APRS coverage. It's really spotty where I live. Mm-hmm. Is I'll use the APRS Droid on the mobile, and then I can leave it on, see a few messages, and then just tell it to just turn it off, basically. And so that's a way to curb that a little bit too. Okay.
So when you're using APRS Droid, I know you can use that over like 4G, 5G. Right. Are you able to send a message that way, or does that have to be over the air?
No, you can send it through 4G or 5G.
Okay. Because I know some WinLink stuff. When the first time you sign up for WinLink, you have to send something over the air.
Right.
Or that used to be. Maybe they've changed that, but that used to be how it was. So but to clarify, I just want to make sure that we're telling people correct information here. So you can use APRS Droid and not even have it, and just turn on tracking and just send a message straight through 4G to get registered. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
cool.
So literally you can do it from anywhere.
Yeah. You can actually do it from anywhere with that. So
yeah, the newest thing we've done is it's actually in the PDF on slide, I think 13, is we now have a way to map everyone. So
really?
Yeah, if you send out a,
isn't that in there? I think there's a. Seemed like there was a map. Is this it right here?
Let me
on the Facebook group. I'm gonna guess that's what it is.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Yeah, there's a 30-second delay. I'm sorry, on YouTube. But if you look on the Zoom, I'm sharing my video on Zoom. You should be able to see that.
Yeah. That's the map.
That's the map. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you send out a recent beacon during the net times, they'll be able to log, and put you on a map, which is I think is really, really neat.
Yeah, that is cool. Okay.
And just want to mention the other mod, Leith Cullen, ZL1LAC. He's over in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually active right now for anyone who wants to join. We'll get the approvals in right
Okay.
away.
Okay.
But
We had I show you 392 members on the Facebook group right now, and when I looked about 2 hours ago, you were at 374. So maybe we got you about 20 members so far.
yeah, it's really
So
good.
that's
Yeah.
kind of fun to see that.
Oh,
So,
definitely. Yeah. When I seen your post, I was like, "Whoa, that's cool! I got to get in on that."
yeah.
And then you said Michael didn't show. Michael got the times wrong, and I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
Lord."
Yeah. So I don't. When I posted it in here and I told the times that I was that I always stream at noon local time on Wednesdays and 7 p.m. local time on Sundays. Now, when I posted that message a few weeks ago, that was before daylight savings times changed. So I posted the UTC times.
Okay.
But even then, he said something in his message last night about 3 o'clock, and I'm like, it's never 3 o'clock, no matter daylight savings or no. So I don't know where he got that time from.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
It's fine. It's not a big deal.
He's in Vegas. They're on their own time.
He did. Yeah, he asked me about 4:40. He said 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. I'm like, no, not at all. So, which would be 2:45 p.m. my time. And I'm like, no, that's not right. So I'm not sure where we got that from. But that's all right. It's all good. We'll get it. I want him to be able to present that PowerPoint that he made up, because I know he spent some time on it, because he's been sending me messages.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he even said something about doing a real-time, sending a real-time APRS message to the thing. So I'm going to attempt to register myself between now and the time that I don't have my radio with me right here.
Okay.
But I've got an FT5, I've got an FTM 300 in the truck, and I always beacon APRS when I'm on road trips. I don't do it much around town, but when I'm on road trips, I do. And a goal for a while has been, I want to build. I have internet in my truck, so I want to build an APRS iGate that lives in the truck and runs on
yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, and then when I'm on road trips, I can beacon myself and always be on the internet, assuming that I'm not out in the boonies somewhere and don't have internet. But when I'm at Hamfests, there's a lot of people who beacon at Hamfest with an HT or with their vehicle in the parking lot or something like that, so it can capture all those and send them to aprs.fi on the internet. And that's
that'd be really neat.
Yeah, that's been a goal of mine for a while. I've been talking with Jason KM4ACK about it, so we're gonna do that upcoming. But should be a fun thing.
Yeah, our area here, we've only got one in our area, and it's really surprised the tower that it's on. I can't hit their local repeater, but I can beacon the APRS if I've got an antenna in there. But from an HC, there is like absolutely nothing here. And so, and then we're bringing awareness to that also, because like where Leith is in New Zealand, I mean, there's literally, he lives on the North Island of New Zealand, and there is no APRS on the whole island. And so, I'm working with him doing the same thing, is to get the awareness of what APRS is, what it can be, and what you can do with it. People think it's just for tracking your friends. Yeah. But there is so much more you can do with APRS.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's come a long way since the early days. Couple questions in the chat. For those who don't use Facebook, is there another source of information?
Yes, there is an APRS. Now, we're not associated with them, but there is a APRSgroups.io page. It's
APRSgroups.io.
Yeah, I believe it's APRS.
Let's just pull it. Groups.io and then find a group.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's APRS at groups.io.
At groups.io.
Yeah, or the URL is groups.io /G/APRS.
Okay, there it is right there.
Yep.
So I will post that in the chat, guys. Y'all can sign up on the email reflector. I'm going to sign up on that myself, actually.
Yeah, they actually have a lot of good information. We had an issue when Michael first started this. The network was getting flooded with a bunch of repeats. And a bunch of great guys on that Groups.io forum actually tracked it down to, it was a misconfigured repeater, I think somewhere in France, that was doing it.
Really?
Yeah, and they actually basically did like direction finding and found out where it was at, who it was, and was able to get it sorted. It was really neat
Cool.
to watch that whole process.
Good. Well, that's good that they were able to track it down, right? That's part of what ham radio is, troubleshooting. So, good. Okay.
And just everybody that's on Facebook, join us. We're going to be doing some. We were throwing around the ideas of doing maybe like a group Zoom meeting or some presentations. Like show your rig day. Post a picture of what you're running. That's the thing too, is what are you running? How are you communicating with APRS? Are you using an FT5? What kind of radio you're using? I run the FT5, which I love.
Yeah, same here.
The only thing I don't like about the FT5 is when you send messages, it puts the original, when you reply to a message, it puts your original message in your reply.
So you get all that text again?
Yeah, and you have to delete it to send a new one.
Huh. Seems like that would be a set. Seems like that should be a setting you'd be able to turn off and on, but
exactly. Maybe not.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
But we got a bunch of stuff coming. It's still a work in progress. Michael's doing the best he can, and like I said, he may be at work because I know he works.
He might be. He was the one who actually picked today, because I told him, he said something about last Wednesday, and I'm like, no, I had something going on last Wednesday, and I said, how about? I said, let me know if another Wednesday works for you, and he said, how about the 15th? I said, cool, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know where that mix-up came from, but it's like I said, it's all good. I definitely want to get him on the show and talk to him a little bit deeper than what you and I are talking about here, because he did a really good job of that presentation. Like I mentioned.
Definitely. Just looking, I misspoke. The misconfigured repeater was in Switzerland, actually.
Switzerland, okay.
Yeah, that's on page 14 of the PDF there.
Oh, he talks about it there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Cool.
And then he in the presentation here, he talks about how you can participate. Like we said, APRS.fi for iOS, APRS Droid for Android. Desktop, you got APRISCE, pinpointing APRS, and I guess there's a few for Mac also, he says. So there's ways, if you don't have a radio. And on my YouTube channel, which I don't have the link for or anything, of course, there were people asking, could you do it through DMR? And through Brandmeister, you can, if you have it set up in your account for the APRS reporting, you can actually send a private message through your DMR radio to a certain talk group ID or private ID, and it will forward your message to APRS and to end server, and and you'll actually get replies back. You'll see the other users' messages actually coming back as a message on your radio, as a text message.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that with the RFinder device. Have you ever looked at one of those?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, those look pretty cool.
So they do APRS beaconing over DMR now.
Oh, okay.
But he is adding an actual APRS beaconing over RF on 2 meters. So you'll be able to beacon on 144.39 and presumably send messages as well, since it is a full Android device. I think it'll just interface directly with APRS Droid.
Yeah,
and then beacon itself, basically. Be like having APRS Droid built into your FT5.
Yeah,
kinda like that.
Well, yeah, it'd be like just running like the mobile link.
Right.
With it just built in.
It just built in instead of an external device. Correct. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
So that's going to be a nifty thing that he's going to have very soon. But it'll beacon APRS over 4G now through the Android app, through the Brandmeister network, I think. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of DMR, I just sent you a link to a DMR radio that you need to check out. I think it'd be interesting for you to do a review on.
Okay. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, but all right. I mean, that's all I have. That's all. I'm just I'm just a small part of it, and I'm glad I could be here to fill in for Michael. And I'll be in chat if anybody has any questions. But we're pushing. I think we're pushing right at 400 check-ins over APRS. So
excellent.
If we can get there, that'd be great. I mean, we started out. I think when Michael started out, I think the first time they done it, they had like 20 check-ins, and now we're at 400. We got 400 he said almost 400 members on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it's all about, ham radio and, using the tools that we have available.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, cool. I'll let you get on with your show, and
all right,
I'll
man.
be around to listen to chat.
I appreciate you hopping in, man.
Thank you.
All right, yep. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right. We'll let him go. There's that. Okay. I got people calling me, people texting me. Dude, it never fails. It never fails. When I live stream on Wednesdays, Bob calls me. Not every week. Not every week, but lots of weeks I'm live streaming, and Bob will call me. Such a goober. Oh, he's such a goober. Yeah, you gotta love Bob. Should I? Yeah, and his reply is always, "Should I jump in?" He loves to talk. If you haven't noticed, Bob loves to talk. So you said ArtFinder. Yeah, you got it, Steve. I did say ArtFinder. That's cool. Eric, you're next week, buddy. We said the 22nd. But you know what? I mean, if you want to talk now, Eric, we can kind of pivot if you want to. In fact, let me. Oh, he's already in there. Okay, cool. Let's just pivot. Let's pivot and talk about the QSO Today Ham Expo, and I'll have to split this stream out later because hold on, I got to adjust that, turn this on, turn that off, and there. Hey, man.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Watching you on the stream.
Yeah. Yeah. We had you scheduled next week.
No.
Yeah, the 22nd.
Oh, I told all my Boy Scouts they had to go home. So.
Yeah, we said the 22nd when we were texted the other day, but
you know what? I'm so discombobulated with all of the tasks I'm running. If you want, I'll leave now and I'll come back next week.
Actually, the guy who I had scheduled today, he and I got our times mixed up somehow. So he didn't show up, but a cohort of his showed up and gave us a little bit of info. So if you want to kind of pivot, we can switch the stream right now, and we're just going to do all this live. This is live stream editing. That's all we're going to do. And then I'll just chop it off.
Live stream Wednesday, isn't that
right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay.
So the first half is about APRS Thursday. We can call that a prequel to the APRS Thursday stream that we're going to talk about here. Probably next week. And
what's that? I'm just curious. What's that cool device up over your right shoulder that has the two antennas, but it looks like it's a touch screen? What is that little box on the top there?
That is a DX Mini dual time slot hotspot. It's not a touch screen though.
Oh,
they don't make those
cool.
anymore.
Yeah. It got my attention.
Yeah, they don't make those anymore. This is the guy at DX Mini. He's a friend of mine. He lives here in North Texas. But yeah, it's a Raspberry Pi with a Nexion screen in it, and Raspberry Pi connections there. It's a Pi 3, I believe.
So maybe your all of your listeners or all of your watchers know how to find. I have a Western Electric DTMF pad. Do you know what those are?
No.
They're old-fashioned touch-tone phones that were made by Western Electric.
Sure.
If you had an auto patch in your car, or if you used auto patches in the 70s and 80s, then you would have one of these pads. And I'm actually trying to find a box to put in my car that actually will hold one of these pads. If anybody knows any place that actually makes, a metal box. I was thinking of building an all-star mobile node, but I wanted to have this big touch-tone pad so I could control it because my fingers are big now and I needed big buttons. So that's just and these push-button microphones while you're driving, unless they key automatically, it's really a...
Yeah. I tell you what, my my 805100 has a setting in there. You can go in there and save DTMF tones. So I've gotten to where I program in there star 3 and then different all-star nodes, so that I can go and I can touch screen the ID51 and say DTMF dial that, and it just does everything for me.
Does it key the transmitter when you push the button?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you go into one menu and edit it and program it, and then you go into another menu and push it. I say that It's not the ID 5100 I do that with. It's the ID 52, the HT. But I think that the 51 will also do it, if I'm not mistaken. So I keep meaning to look that up. But yeah, if I've got my All-Star node in my truck, which is where I always carry it, and I've got my ID 52, I can just go click, click, 2 buttons go into the menu, choose this one, it's the top one usually, and click on that, and it keys the transmitter, dials *3 and the 5-digit All-Star node, and then unkeys, and then you can hear the All-Star node react to those DTMF tones, and it works pretty well that way. So some of them.
Well, I guess nowadays I should just 3D print whatever I need.
Right. Well,
Right.
That's true. All right, let me pull up your website here, Eric.
Okay. Or I can do show and tell too.
Do you have a presentation that you were gonna?
I don't know. I think your audience may know who I am and what I do. I could make a slide introduction and then show you kind of what we're doing at the expo this time.
Perfect. Do it. Go for it.
Okay. So some of you might know I'm Eric 4Z1UG. I'm the creator of the QSO Today podcast. I started in July of 2014. I interview ham radio operators, most of whom are movers and shakers in the ham radio hobby. I've gotten very adventurous, and I'm sometimes interviewing people who are not movers and shakers in the ham radio hobby. But I'm finding that as I get older, everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's interesting. So I've done 442 interviews of an hour or more over that period of time. And when COVID started, I started the QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo as a way to create a ham radio event while we were all locked down across the world. So I'm coming up this next week on the 6th QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. What makes the expo unique is that we have the best presentations. Now, I can tell you that you can go to Huntsville, you can go to Dayton, they all have great presentations, but these expos are so large that you never get to the presentations, and if you get to the presentations, you miss everything else. So
right.
We focus on presentations, and what we do is we have in this set about 46 presentations. Some are live, most are we call semi-live. So we have the presenters record the presentations first. They submit it to us, and over the last 5 expos, we've fine-tuned our presentation technology to allow you to go into our quote-unquote auditorium. You can watch the presentation. The presenter comes on live right after the presentation ends to take live question and answers. We record the whole thing, and then we put it back up on our website. So Jason, since you're scrolling around there, if you go to the presentations menu item at the top of the page there, you'll see, if you go click down one that says previous expos,
right?
We have all of the presentations we've done in the past are on this list. This list is blind friendly. So if you're a blind ham, you can use a screen reader to read all of these presentations. It has a button control. So if you click on something, click on anything, it actually brings up our player, our embedded player. You can control the player with the space bar and the right and left arrow keys. You can skip forward, you can skip back. You can take over the entire screen, so just like you can on Zoom. So
cool.
All of the presentations, and now after 5 expos and with the presentations coming up, our catalog of video presentations on ham radio, which I think are some of the best on ham radio, is over 400 presentations. So
wow.
So the expo is an amazing event for actually being right up close and personal to the presenter, being able to ask questions, hear well. You can get up and go to the bathroom, and no one will notice when you leave the room. The worst part about a live event, I like live events, but I like to sit up in the front. But I'm older now, and if I don't time this correctly, then I'm getting up in the middle of the presentation and interrupting everybody. So here you don't have to worry about that. We're very discreet. and we have amazing presentations come up. So if you click on the presentation button at the top,
presentation button at the top.
Yeah, just
right here where the mouse over is.
Yeah, that'll take you back to the main presentation page.
Gotcha. Okay.
That loading sessions, I've done a lot of automation so as I accept presentations into the expo, it builds the website automatically. So,
gotcha.
And you can actually see now that the moderators are assigned to these presentations. They already have a time. You can actually download the little widget that will connect to your calendar, so you can schedule these in your time zone on the calendar.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff, and if there's a conflict, you can always go back with your ticket and watch the presentations for 30 days afterwards. And then at some point, no promises when, sometimes it takes months and months, those presentations from the previous expos will find their way into our player and also onto our YouTube channel.
All right, so I have a question about that, because you always talk about how I was answering it. I don't think you said this, but I was answering some questions in the chat. So we've pivoted to QSO Today Ham Expo because of APRS Thursday, some mix up in the scheduling. Probably get APRS Thursday guys on next week. So QSO Today Ham Expo, the link to register is, I've repinned it at the top of the chat. You can go sign up there. Eric, what so after the expo's done, the presentations for this year's expo are replayable for 30 days. At what point in time do you add them to this database that you have of
it takes
past
a long
expos?
time. I mean, to be honest with you, it takes a long time because I have to pay for help.
Yeah.
And I have to pay for help when I have money to pay for help.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Because I don't edit them myself. I don't have the expertise and the patience.
Okay.
So I pay Ben, who lives here near me, who also edits the QSO Today podcast, and he uses Adobe Premiere and goes through. And what we're actually doing is we're cutting out the chit chat in case they push the record button too soon or the go live button too soon. We cut out the chit chat. We want to make it a beautiful presentation. It can take months for those new presentations to find their way into our Vimeo catalog, which is what that player is that you see on our website.
Yeah. Okay.
And then as we have time, we release we're trying to release a few presentations, a week onto the YouTube channel just to share. And then I've got an arrangement with the Internet Archive that ultimately all of the presentations will will outlive me in the Internet Archive, so that this becomes a permanent resource for the amateur radio community at some point. So I wish I could be more definitive. As I say, it all rolls on if enough people come to the expo this time, then I'll have enough money to pay Ben and get all those resources marshaled. All this, as you know, because you do this, Jason, all this stuff is very expensive. If you're storing the amount of video that we're storing in Vimeo, if you're unfortunately paying people to cut and edit video and re-render it, it's expensive. So,
right.
But I think I think it ends up becoming an amazing resource for ham radio that people can use to go off in a new direction. And that's actually the theme of this next episode is that if you have a new technician license and you think that there's more to ham radio, or maybe you didn't know there's more to ham radio than just VHF on a Chinese radio, we're trying to show you that with a technician class license, the world is wide open. And if you're above 30 megahertz, then there's just every mode is available. There's lots and lots of resource and help, mentors to help you do everything from making contacts on 6-meter single sideband to moon bounce on 1200 megahertz. So there's a lot of things you can do, and that's the theme of this expo. So we've invited a lot of new hams who are just kind of getting going.
Mm-hmm.
But we also want seasoned hams with expertise in these areas. And then I can show you, if you want me to share my screen, I can show you. Okay, so let me share my screen.
I'm gonna have to
Okay, tell
change
me what.
that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
hold on.
is the lobby from last time.
Let me change this over here. There we go. That's better.
Can you see
I
it?
see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're good.
Okay, so this is the lobby from last time. So we're right now in the process of building the new Expo Center,
Mm-hmm.
and that will unveil that sometime next week. But
Okay.
we have a new thing called the Roundtable Lounge. And as you recall, Jason, when um, the second expo, I tried to merge a product called AirMeet with vFairs. vFairs is the uh, service provider that we use for
Right.
the expo, and it didn't go well. But what I liked about AirMeet that I didn't have on vFairs was a roundtable lounge. And
Mm-hmm.
essentially, what that means is that um, groups like here's this QSO today admin. If people want to come and complain to me, they can come to this table. They can mouse over a chair that's empty. You can see that I'm sitting in this chair, and
Mm-hmm.
it shows my name if I mouse over it long enough. There it is.
Yeah.
And you can set, and that means that you can actually go through this lounge. So here's Flex Radio's two tables, Prepcom, Bigali Key, Ham Radio Workbench Podcast, Rat Pack. I've got 4 speakers tables. These tables are not in order yet, but they will be in a day or two. And then I have subject tables based on, rag chewing, DX and contesting, HF digital modes, youth and ham radio. The ARRL has a table. Um, Another subject table, amateur TV, so that
Mm-hmm.
if you have an interest in any of these subjects, just go click on, join the table or click on a chair and wait for somebody to come sit with you who is either an expert or maybe you're the expert. So
Mm-hmm.
the idea is we want to do a lot of exchanging of ideas and information, and maybe people will find mentors at the expo because a large number of our presenters have said that they would be happy to mentor someone who asks for help. And then I have a bunch of tables that are numbered, like table 31, 32. These tables are for you find a friend at the expo and you say, go to table 34 and let's have a conversation. One of the things I liked about the second expo, even though it was, in my mind, it was probably one of the most stressful moments of my entire life, was that I actually got to renew some friendships with people I hadn't seen since high school, and that was almost 50 years ago. So um, they would it would show up on my messaging, and they'd say, "Oh, go to table 64." So I'd go to table 64, and there they were. So I'm saying that there's a lot of space, like a live convention, where if you look across the room and you see a table that has some empty chairs, you go and you sit down, and as I say, you can mouse over the chairs and see who's sitting at each table before you take a seat. Maybe your mother-in-law is sitting at a table and you don't want to sit with her, so you can move on to another one. So that's the Roundtable Lounge. I'm pretty excited about this. We also have a new mobile application that works, and we haven't had that before. In fact, we've shied away from telling people to use mobile devices. Let me turn this
Yes.
off if I remember. There it is right here. So in the past, we've told people not to use mobile devices because we can't be assured that it would actually do a good job. So
Mm-hmm.
vFairs, the company that is our platform provider, has created a mobile app that works on Android and iPhone, on tablets and
Okay.
smartphones.
Okay.
And if you download that app, and there's a link, if you look at the top, the links to go down from the stores, you'll see their mobile app right
Right.
there.
Yes.
Right. So
Okay.
there's 2 links on the right that say vFairs apps for Google Play and vFairs
Right.
app on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And all you do is you download it, and it asks you for your email address that you use to sign up for the expo. And what it will do is it will take you then to the right, because it's possible you might be be using vFairs for multiple expos, but
Yeah.
it will show you the one that's there. The great thing about the app is you can view and participate in all the presentations with it. You can use it to message voice, video, and text anybody on the platform, so you can find your friends and talk to them. You can look at the exposition hall, download content. So it has all of the capabilities except the roundtable lounge. So this time they don't have it ready for the roundtable lounge. But I have to say, in VFairs, to their benefit, they've listened to everything I've asked for since we started at the very beginning. Because every time I do an expo, I've got a list of feature requests and changes, things we could do differently. They've been an amazing partner to the QSO today, Virtual Ham Expo, and so the Roundtable Network is a very nice piece, and it will replace the Kumo Space Lounges we used last time, if you remember those.
Yes.
And I think that what I saw last time was the first time we did Kumo Space, people thought that was really cool. I think the second time we did it, the novelty had kind of worn off. And I like the tables in the past because I could get the giant overhead view of where everybody was, and I like that better than the Kumo space. And I'm hoping that the people that come to the expo next week will agree.
Good, excellent. That's great. So, and again, for those who just joined us, I put the link in the top of the chat for to sign up for the expo. But it's just QSOtodayHamExpo.com is the main website, so you can go
right
there and
please
out, so.
please go there. I sometimes get emails from many people that look like they've never been to the website and asking me questions about the. So what's interesting, there's two things here. If you go to the website and I haven't answered your question, then send me a message and I will make sure I put it on the website, because I'm running this whole thing mostly solo these days. With the but again, there's a lot of automation that runs it. But if I haven't answered the question on the website, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I put it up there, and I will answer your question personally to make sure that you're satisfied with the answer that I gave you.
Cool, perfect. Okay. And now this is happening a week from Saturday, but realistically it's a week from Friday because it starts at 00 UTC.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When I advertise it, it says, oh, it's September 26th, 25th, and 26th.
March.
That's UTC.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, because I'm in Israel. I'm 9 hours. You guys have just in daylight savings time, so I always have to recalculate.
It's crazy.
I think I'm 9 hours ahead of California. So
okay, so you're 7 hours ahead of me. Then.
I always base the expo on California time because that's the best way to get the 4 time zones of the United States into the expo. So the expo starts at 1800 hours, 6 p.m. Friday the 24th, PDT, Pacific Daylight Time.
Gotcha.
And I think it's like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning GMT.
If it's 1800, PDT, that's 2000. That's 2000 my time. And yes, you're right. That's 0100 UTC or GMT.
Yeah, this daylight savings time. It really
messes
things up.
I know. It does.
And we're not going on daylight savings time until I don't know, for another 3 weeks.
Well, see, and I didn't even know that anybody outside the USA or North America did that, because, and there's some states in the United States that don't participate anymore, and that even confuses things anymore. But I was talking with Hayden over in Australia the other day, and he's like, dude, did you change your lunchtime live stream? I'm like, no, it's always been at noon. He's like, well, it shows this. And I'm like, oh, we had daylight savings time. So, and he's like, oh, ours doesn't start for another 3 weeks. And I'm like, what? Australia does daylight savings time? I didn't know that. So yeah, I'm like, oh, messes it up.
We're bringing in the sheaves.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, totally.
It's interesting. I heard a conversation today that said that, that they're trying to decide whether or not to stay on daylight savings time all the time, or they're going to just, well, if you do the calculation over the course of the year, it doesn't make a difference. You don't get any more evening time or daylight in the evening by being an hour ahead all the time. So what I'm saying is that there's really ends up being no net benefit. So you just should stay on standard time.
On standard time, it gets dark here. When we switch back to standard time this fall,
Right. It gets dark
November,
early.
it gets dark at like 6 o'clock and maybe a few minutes before 6:15, between 5:45 and 6:15 p.m.
Right.
Well, during
but
the
if
summer, it'll be light until almost 9 o'clock. So it's
That's
just
right.
kind
But
of
if you stayed on daylight savings time, you'll be going out in the dark at 7 in the morning.
see, yeah. And morning people care about that, which I am not one of those people. So I'd rather sleep in anyway.
I'm a morning
So-
person.
so
I'm
is
out
my
running
wife.
At,
Yeah.
at, 5:30. So it's
Right.
dark and it's cold.
It is dark. Yeah. It is dark. That is true. So yeah, I think there's not a good answer to either one. I would like to get rid of it. I would rather stay on daylight savings time, but even I would rather get rid of it and go back to standard time than keep switching all the time. So
No, you just
I
need to
don't,
move to an island like Bob.
yeah,
Maybe
maybe I
it's
should.
daylight savings time all the time.
Yeah, right.
But it's
right.
also 120 degrees in the shade with 95% humidity.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's a downside.
Yeah. Always something. Cool, man. Well, hey, thanks for hopping in, Eric. I appreciate the info. And if you come up with anything between now and next weekend, let me know. Maybe we'll get you back on sometime next week.
Sure.
trying to-
And I just urge your audience to come to the QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. Please come.
Absolutely.
And listen to the podcast if you're interested in the historical side of ham radio. I think I've got some of the best. You know what? I'll just give you one aside if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I interviewed Eric Anderson of PrepCom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So he's a guy. He lives up in Wyoming. He's really, really smart. And so I'm interviewing him. He says, "Well, where did you go to school?" And MIT. Oh, and we're so if you listen to the podcast, you know that I'm kind of going through the history and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that invented the cell phone camera for Apple and Kodak.
Really?
Right. So it's like, well, I'm not
Wow.
I'm talking to a guy who was the CTO of Apple at the very beginning. Oh, did he go to MIT? Of course he went to MIT. He's with honors.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you don't know who you're talking to when you're going to a ham radio convention and you're talking to a guy across a booth and he's trying to show you some weird gizmo that he's made and he's got this idea. If you start scratching the surface, you're going to find under every ham some amazing story. And that's what I'm trying to do with the QSO Today podcast is that I must tell you, Jason, 50%, at least 50% of the people that I send invitations to will tell me they have no story to tell.
Yeah. Everybody has a story to
and
tell.
I can tell you that 2/3 of the people I've interviewed, their first reply is, well, nobody is interested in my story.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
all have fascinating stories. We all have fascinating stories if we ask the right questions.
That's right. I agree with you completely. So yeah, everybody has a story.
I can't see if you have any questions, but if you have any questions for me, otherwise I will thank you so much for the opportunity to share lunch with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't see any questions right now, but if you guys do have questions, you can comment on the video, and you can find Eric at QSOtodayHamExpo.com, and you can, if you're...
I'm Eric at QSOtoday.com, so if you want to send me an email, then I'll also answer there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for hopping in, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for
you kind of saved
me.
you kind of saved my time slot today, so that's great.
Well, I'm so glad I could.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Bye. Cool. So yeah, QSO Today Ham Expo, which is not this coming Friday, but the following Friday, UTC time, 6 o'clock in California, 8 o'clock in Texas. And so however that relates to you and your time zone. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm watching y'all's chat about the time zones and whatnot. So yeah, some of you agree with me. Eric's call sign is 4Z1 Uniform Golf. He's got a USA call sign too. I forget what it is, but he lives in Israel full time. He was at Hamvention last year. I was like, dude, they let you out of the country? But got to meet him face to face last year. He was at 4 Days in May last year. at Hamvention. I don't need these anymore. So I got to meet him, but he's got his Israeli call sign is 4Z1 Uniform Golf, and you can find him on QRZ, of course, that way. So, yeah, still daylight savings time chat in the chat. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining today. Sorry about the mix-up with APRS Thursday, but we will get Mike already sent me a message. And so we're going to hammer out something and get him on the show sometime probably next week. Keep watching for that. I know a lot of you went and signed up on the Facebook group already. In fact, the Facebook group has about 30 more members than it did this morning when I looked at it. So thank you for signing up over there. I'm going to go register myself so that I can APRS it up with all of you. And, go into the group. And I posted in the group earlier. And I said, hey, today's live stream topic's on this. And, of course, that didn't exactly happen the way I had it planned. But go in there and comment on the post and let me know if you want to see. If you have any, this might be a good opportunity. If you have any specific questions about APRS Thursday or about APRS in general that you would like me to ask Mike when he's on the channel next week, go put them in that Facebook group up there. So might be a good way to do it. Sign up on let me pull that screen back up real quick. We're still doing the giveaway for the end of March, a week from this Sunday. Not there, but right there. We're giving away 11 different items to 11 different winners. Each winner will receive one item. And here is the link for that in the chat once more. So go sign up there. And we will hopefully see you on the live stream that Sunday. If you're in or around the Scranton, Pennsylvania area this weekend, I am going to Scranton. I'm flying out early tomorrow morning to Scranton, Pennsylvania. I got to take a connecting flight. There's no nonstops from here to Scranton, Pennsylvania. I got to connect in Charlotte. And so I'll be there about noonish, something like that, 12:30, something like that, tomorrow afternoon. Pick up my stuff, head over to the university, set up all my cameras and stuff. And I think Ed from the M17 project and I are going to catch dinner tomorrow night. Steve was in the chat earlier too. I don't know, Steve, I don't know if you're going to Hamsci or not. But if you guys are going to be in the area, come see us. Come to the Hamsci event. It's a lot of stuff that you won't understand because I don't understand it. But it's good information. It's really kind of good space weather, HF propagation, ionospheric kind of stuff. And it's fun to listen to. It's fun to learn from. So come check that out. And I'm going to try to do some POTA maybe tomorrow night. We'll see what happens with everything like that. So 73 all, thanks for joining today. And keep watching the channel. Keep watching the announcement. Sign up on the email list. And we will get APRS Thursday on the books next week sometime. 73 all.